Next question comes from one old Duck fan at Vulcan Rider on Twitter. He asks, what are the chances Dante Moore is the starter next year, beating out Ty and Butters and Bo is one and gone? So I think this is a really good question because after Dante Moore committed, I think that's exactly where a lot of Oregon fans thinking goes. Okay, he's committed, but how soon can he play? When is he going to get here? When are we going to see him? And for quarterbacks, you usually want to get here early, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dante Moore chose to enroll early, play his senior season at King, and then get to Eugene to be ready for the winter strength and conditioning program. I think for quarterback, it's just so important for that position in particular to get here early, to start building the rapport with your teammates, to get in the playbook, and then also this just goes for early enrollees in general. I think another benefit that doesn't get discussed too often is just getting adjusted to college, getting adjusted to living on your own, to the responsibilities that you have, to doing your own laundry. You know, that was one thing that I wasn't used to until I got to college, just doing my own laundry, cooking for yourself sometimes, managing the crazy demanding schedule that you have, bouncing back and forth between practice, training, recovery, getting your meals, getting to the right place on time for class, meeting your teachers, meeting your classmates, and having meetings with your position coach. There's just so many different aspects that go into that transition from being a high schooler to a college student. So I think that that's a big transition that a lot of these guys need to make at one point or another. Just from listening to Dante in those interviews, it doesn't seem like it's going to be something that is that tough of a transition for him, just because it feels like he has a really strong head on his shoulders. But as far as the chances that he starts as a true freshman next year, I think this is kind of how I see it going, and this is kind of what you alluded to in your question. I feel like for Bo Nix, probably comes to Oregon, not assuming he's going to start, but he's entering his fourth season, senior season as a college athlete. I guess it would be junior season because of COVID. But he graduated high school in 2019, so he played in 2019, 2020, and 2021. The 2020 year doesn't count, so he'll technically be a junior, I believe, if we're just kind of looking at the technical aspects of everything. But I feel like he probably came to Oregon thinking that he'll play one season and then take his shot at the NFL. So that's kind of how I feel like things are projecting right now, just because that's what all the signs look like, is that it's pointing to Bo being the starter. Just with how he looked in the spring game. And then obviously you have what a lot of people are talking about with that continuity and familiarity with Kenny Dillingham as his offensive coordinator now in Eugene after they were playing together as a true freshman in 2019 when he won SEC Newcomer of the Year or SEC Freshman of the Year, whatever it was. It was something along those lines. So I'm with you in terms of I feel like that's kind of how it's looking. But let's look at it if that does happen. Then you have Jay Butterfield, you have Ty Thompson. Big question there. How much of the field are those guys going to see this year? Because they barely saw the field at all last year. We only saw Ty really last year other than Anthony Brown. Ty came in that Stony Brook game after Anthony Brown got banged up, and then he also came in that Colorado game a little bit. We didn't see that much of Jay Butterfield, and I put me in the camp of wanting to see more Jay Butterfield this upcoming season. Thought he looked really good in the spring game. Every quarterback had a turnover in the spring game, so no one escaped that game completely unscathed. But I feel like to answer this question, a big part of the equation is going to be how much playing time, how many snaps do Ty Thompson and Jay Butterfield get this upcoming season? Can Oregon put teams away, teams that they far outmatch from a talent standpoint? Can they execute? Can they play clean games? Can they keep their foot on the gas pedal to make sure that they can not only get a big lead, but sustain that big lead to get some of these young guys the reps that they need, quarterback or otherwise? So I feel like that's the first big part we have to look at to see what kind of a leap those guys can make. How much can they grow in the 2022 season? But then the other part of it is, what if Dante Moore comes in and just absolutely balls out? What if he's so talented that you can't keep him off the field as a true freshman? You can see the highlights. I mean, anytime this guy lines up to sling it, he just balls out, and he's kind of in a class of his own. He's now the number 2 overall player in the country in the class of 2022, according to 247. For some reason, he doesn't have that 5th star on 3 just yet, but I mean, rankings don't mean everything. They don't really mean anything once you get to the college level. It's really just, a bunch of hype when you're a recruit, right? I'm not saying it's not important to have a high star ranking or a high rating and all that. You guys all know how much I love recruiting and covering it, but I say all that to say once you get to college, the stars, the rating by your name and all of that, it just goes away because you just need to show up. It's, put up or shut up, basically is what it is at the college level. So I think his skill set is so refined already ahead of his senior season. This is a guy, keep in mind that I feel like Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy, I don't know if you guys listen to Chris Collinsworth when you're watching NFL, but Dante Moore is a guy who has really advanced mechanics for a player of his age. The ball gets out of his hand in a hurry. He can throw on the run. He puts the ball where it needs to be, shows excellent anticipation. He's mobile in the pocket, can do some damage with his legs, but doesn't really get asked to do a lot of that. If you guys watch King's film, he really has a lot of quick passes to guys over the middle. But he showed that he can make every throw on the field, whether it was at the Elite 11 when he hit the goalpost. I think he was the only quarterback that was doing that when they were lining up from the 50 and just letting it fly. Whether it was at OT7, that big 7-on-7 tournament by overtime in Las Vegas, he balled out there. He balled out throughout the 7-on-7 circuit. I believe he was playing for Cam Newton's 7-on-7 team. SI All-American, my colleagues over there, they named him the Elite 11 MVP from 2022. So I say the possibility is certainly there. It's just a little bit hard to project right now because we have to see what he does in his senior season. And then after that, probably more so than that, how does he look once he gets to Oregon? How does he line up? How does he match up with those other guys that are already on Oregon's roster? And it's looking like we were kind of saying, we're laying it out. It's going to be him, Ty, and Jay. And how do their skill sets match up? Which quarterback allows them to run their offense most efficiently, most effectively? Is he a good decision maker? I know he has a really stellar touchdown to interception ratio right now in his college career. But we've seen how big of a leap that is for a lot of guys making that step from high school to college, making that leap from high school to college. The game speeds up. The game absolutely speeds up. And how he processes the speed of that game and how he makes that adjustment is going to be a big factor. And if this Oregon staff does a year from now feel confident enough in his ability to name him the starter. So I feel like that's a huge question that you kind of have to ask yourself when you're evaluating this. So I would say right now on July 23rd, 2022, when we have so much time between this question really becoming more relevant for the Ducks, I'd say it's possible. It's possible for sure, but maybe not so much probable, just going off of what we've seen right now. I think Dante Moore has all the potential in the world. I, along with a lot of other, industry analysts, industry experts, believe that he can start as a true freshman. Like, he is just that talented, but we don't know what he looks like as a college player and how we don't have any reps to go off of, whether it be something simple as a fastball drill and spring practice or a spring game, for example. So I think we have to really wait until we see him play at the college level or even just practice at the college level, right? Before we can really, say that this is a high chance for Dante to see if he's going to be able to start as a true freshman for Oregon.